Le roi Slandail mo chanolas ui na man hasíalta a úsáid I gcóras banastíochta ag an dala. Déanfar seo bhealach eticúil agus ina méluach airgid le fáil. The social media landscape consists of a range of different digitized media in a variety of formats: image, text, audio, video. The large amount of documents that come in, particularly during an emergency, can create a burden of interpretation on the end users who receive them. Using these large amount of documents in a legal and ethical way is one of the objectives of this project. Slándáil is the Irish word for security. The project began in April 2014 and is going to run until April 2017. It received funding from the EU 7th Framework Programme. Slándáil is a collaboration between emergency operatives, academics and SMEs. We're working on technologies that go beyond the state of the art.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Bury. I work in Stillwater Communications and we're based in Dublin. We're working on the communications aspect of Project Slandail. This guy here is really at the heart of the project. What we're trying to do is make his life easier. Currently, he uses this emergency management system. The emergency management system has a lot of very valuable information on it. It has things like details of population in an affected area, details of roads. It has lists of shelters like airports, schools, that can help him respond better in an emergency. But his life has changed in the last 10 years with the eruption of social media networks. 1.7 billion of us have active social media accounts and we send an average of 500 million tweets per day. So that's a lot of information. He needs to have a way of filtering and sorting through the information that's available to him in order to respond effectively. Now, in some cases, authorities have quite advanced levels of social media analysis tools, but in most cases, authorities have quite a basic level. However, in all cases, there's no cross-coordination between these two systems. So therefore, invaluable information could potentially be lost, which ultimately means that more lives could be lost. So let me bring you back to really the first natural disaster where social media came into its own, and that's the earthquake in Haiti in 2010. So if I just take you through some of the tweets that we see here, there's a lot of hashtag Haiti tweets, but then people are using Twitter to communicate vital pieces of information to each other. So we see here we've got hashtag need, H2O, food, hashtag name, Les Petites Sœurs, and the hashtag location, Rivière Floride. Similarly here we've got hashtag open, airport, hashtag location, Port-au-Prince, hashtag time, over an hour ago. And finally here is someone trying to search for a loved one. Hashtag are you okay? And they've put the name of the person there and location unknown. So really this is a really good example of civilians with no prompting from authorities trying to communicate with each other and to authorities indirectly to try and share vital pieces of information. As it stands, emergency responders are faced with the following dilemmas. How do we avoid spending good money on bad information? How do we cut through all the background noise on social media to extract the information that actually tells us something? How can we make the best use of all the information available to us in order to respond in the most efficient manner? And finally, how can we ensure that the public trusts and responds positively to our communications? And so to answer these dilemmas, we envisaged a Slándáil system that looks something like this. Basically, what we wanted to do was empower an existing emergency management system with an existing social media analysis system. So let me bring you through briefly how this system works. So what we have here is our image and text social media posts. They go into our social media analysis system, and what that does is it scans, classifies, and filters the information so that it sends the information at its most refined and relevant to the emergency management system.
Hi, ich bin Sebastian Bussmann von der CED und ich bin die Projektleitung für das Slandail-Projekt, wo wir den Social Media Monitor Topic Analyst Slandail-Projekt beisteuern. First, I want to show you our news tool where all documents from English-speaking news sources are crawled. And as you can see, there are about 500,000 documents crawled for December 2015. Our objective is to narrow down and provide some filtering options. The first basic filtering options we have on the left side of the screen. You can see the several filtering options like locations, organizations, or keywords or other metadata. To provide more topic-related filtering, we have another tool which is called Supervised Topics. Within the panel, a user can define a supervised topic which is made of aspects, and those aspects can include keywords, entities. What the system does then is to filter based on the whole bunch of the aspects and rate the documents up to a threshold and filter down the documents in that way. Let me switch to our monitoring view. Within this monitoring view, I use my supervised topic based on floods to our so-called microanalysts. And those microanalysts represent different visualizations of the documents which are filtered by the floods supervised topic within December 2015. So what you can see here is, for instance, a word cloud which shows the locations and keywords. Also a representation over time where you can see where the floods have been occurred. So there is, for instance, the floods in England and Scotland. And there is a microanalyst representing the significant locations extracted from the floods documents. What we can do with those microanalysts which are interactive, we can narrow down based, for instance, for this hot topic Cambria, and instantly the document list view will refresh and show you the documents filtered out. In the list, which is now narrowed down to 240 documents, we can have a quick look in the documents itself. So we have a small teaser, and we have extracted entities and keywords and see where it has happened. And there's a possibility to look at the original document to see the complete text and also the images which has been taken. Emergency responders might be interested on new documents showing up based on the supervised topic floods and the hot topic Cambria. So what we can do in Topic Analyst is to create an alert, which can be done on the upper right corner there. By creating this alert, you can determine on how often you want to be informed about new documents. Within Slándáil project, this alerting will also be directed to the CG software of Data Piano, which will be informed on any new documents occurring to a specific filter and may react with an emergency response to the new occurred documents. Let me switch to the contributions for the Slandail project, which is represented in a dedicated environment. So we set up an additional environment to hold the social media data and provide an access for the CG software from Data Piano to access our documents and also the analysis. So over here you can see a monitoring dashboard with social media data. In the upper row we have a representation of a Twitter pool, which includes a lot of Twitter posts. In terms of contribution to the Slándáil project, we added an additional microanalyst, which is our map microanalyst. You can see there a map representation of the Twitter data according to the geolocation which is included in the post. In the lower area, we have representation of Facebook data, which has been collected during the flood events in Saxony. On the right-hand side, you see a representation of organizations which have been contributed to the emergency event. As they are interactive, you can click on a certain data point of the value over time representation, for instance in Dresden, and look up the corresponding posts. So you can see the extracted data and the filtering options are quite important for the emergency responders and also will enhance the emergency management software provided by Data Piano.
Salve, sono Luca Di Stefano, programmatore di Data Piano, San Donà di Piave, e lavoriamo sul gestore delle emergenze del progetto Slandail.
I will now briefly run through the program to show you how and what we modified to comply with the objective of Slandail project.
The first task was to bring together Topic Analyst and CJ. Now the operators can access Topic Analyst directly from our user interface, just going to the Topic Analyst and Search Documents menu. From the screen, the operators can filter the documents they are looking for in the situation just by entering specific keywords. For example, in this case, I've made a search for flooding and river. The program gave me a list of documents pertaining to the topics that I just selected, and from here I can view the details of each document. For example, the date the document has been found, the title, the small teaser, location, source. I can see the document in Topic Analyst so that I can perform more advanced filters with Topic Analyst program. If the document has a location attached to it, I can use the scenario command to see where the document is located. The other important implementation is linking the GIS to the Inspire cartography. Let me now open a previously made event to show you what it's like. So as you can see, the GIS will now pinpoint where the event has happened. As you can see, the municipality of Padua in this case has been highlighted in red. From here, for example, I can activate the hydrogeological risk map that is taken directly from Inspire. And as you can see, the GIS overlays the new map to the old one. The noticeable thing is that the cartography is not stored on my computer, but is all live data, which means that an authority has validated the data and the data is always up to date. Using this wide variety of layers, it is easy to run a search for any problems which might happen. For example, if I zoom into this area, from the Padua's river, I can select a line of this river, which we can see it's now highlighted in orange. And for example, I can ask the computer to select 300-meter radius in the structure layers to look for the structures which might be in danger if a flooding happens. So as you can see here, we have a church, a park, a pharmacy, or more importantly, a natural gas distributor, which could mean even further danger. The GIS can also be linked to webcams whenever they are available. For example, in this case, we have a webcam from the river Bacchiglione that, as you can see, gives us the real-time image of what's happening. For example, imagine there's a flood, you can monitor the water level. Or we can link the GIS to pre-made videos, for example, YouTube videos. The video can always be viewed by the operators in real time.
So what we're going to be doing over the next 18 months is focusing specifically on image analytics. At the moment, we just have text analytics, but image analytics are important because they will allow emergency responders to see images of what is actually happening on the ground through social media accounts.
Is comfortiacht isio atá faoi thóir na hÉireann le páirtithe ui an Bretán, an Idal agus an Hermán. Ba an céad glún eile de córas banastíochta éigeandála mar thoró ar an obair seo.